Spin around. Pause. I'll be back to you later, Kylie. Hello and welcome to the United Stand. Big breaking news this morning times two. Paul Pogba and the virus. Some people would say they're the same thing, but they're not. There is a potential, or some would already say a pandemic. Manchester City versus Arsenal has been cancelled. Football, the future of it, looks like it's going to be cancelled imminently. We may not even get as far as the Spurs game. We'll talk about that in a moment and solutions to that, which I think are quite simple. But let's start off with Paul Pogba. And look, I think we've gone through a weird time over the last few days, haven't we, with the Solskjaer thing. All the Ollie inners, slating the Ollie outers, which I suppose they feel justified with their chest to do. Ultimately, I just think, well, you know, as I said when we bought Bruno, let's give Ollie till May, which may be till July in relation to what I'm about to talk about. But I think Pogba's the similar sort of thing, isn't it? It's another area we delve into as United fans and we have to be divisive. I love Pogba. I hate Pogba. I don't know about Pogba. It's just there are many things around United at the moment that are quite divisive. And the story is, remember a couple of weeks ago I spoke about this. Now Pogba, I've always been quite well informed on Pogba. And this comes directly from somebody at the club, that last summer they said right at the start, Pogba's not going to leave no matter what he says about it. We won't sell Pogba. In December, again, he's not going in January. And then a couple of weeks ago, I was told United don't want to sell Pogba. And they feel that they can convince him to stay by what they've done with Bruno and performances on the pitch. And lo and behold, over the last couple of weeks, United's performances on the pitch and Bruno have been fantastic. And now we're getting a story that Pogba wants to stay at the club. United, from a position of power for Paul Pogba, it is now a position of power for Manchester United. And it is as simple as this. The story coming out this morning is that Pogba wants to stay. He's been impressed by Bruno Fernandes and he wants to be part of the future vision. This creates more problems than positives for United, which I'll talk about in a moment. But as somebody who wants Pogba to be at Manchester United because I think he's a good footballer, and that's what I look at. I don't really have enough evidence I hear a lot of things, but I don't really have any evidence about the troubles that may be around Pogba in the dressing room, etc., and then in the club. We know the evidence of Riola. I think that's a fact that we can deal with. But let's be clear here. The reason Paul Pogba now potentially wants to stay at Manchester United is nothing to do with a few decent results with Bruno Fernandes. This is to do with the fact that we are going into another financial crisis because of this virus. And also, even before that, does Pogba justify £150 million transfer fee and 300 grand a week? I don't think Real Madrid have that money. I don't think Juventus have that money. And I think now Pogba and Riola are realising they don't have that money, and he's priced himself out of a move. He's in that golden cage again, isn't he, where he doesn't have the power, because United are like, we're not selling you on the cheap. We don't need to do that. So Pogba suddenly has to be thinking, look, and I don't think Pogba definitely stays, by the way, but I think what we're seeing is a papering of the cracks here, that it's all been about my client wants to go. Remember Riola gobbing off in January. Pogba's never really come out and, never really said anything about the rumours, and now we're getting a little bit that Pogba wants to stay because I think he realises he may well have to stay. Now, what does that mean for Manchester United? And I think that's the most relevant point here. What does it mean for Manchester United? Well, it probably closes the door on Grealish. It probably closes the door on any midfielder coming in, because if you're not getting the revenue of a Pogba sale, we've already spent 50 million on Bruno in January. We only normally spend about 60 million. Where's the money coming from for the transfers? Now, I still think we would get Sancho, but that would be 100 million. Where would the rest of the money come from for Grealish and people like that? So Pogba would probably, if Pogba stays, it probably closes the door on other signings, potentially. So I don't know what your thoughts are about that. What's Manchester United's stance on this? Because this is the main thing. Manchester United would love to sign Paul Pogba on a new contract. There is no prospect that United are there going, well, we don't want you anymore. Because United can't sell him anyway. If Pogba had somewhere to go, Pogba would probably go. The whole point of Pogba wants to stay is because he's got nowhere to go anymore. So it's not like United can't even say if they wanted to, well, forget it. Forget it. You've never shown any commitment to the cause. You've been very inconsistent. We want to build something new. We don't want you to be part of it. Go. United can't sell him unless they sell him ridiculously cheap. But United don't want to sell him. People like Ed Woodward don't want to sell Paul Pogba because the merchandising value of Paul Pogba is huge. And people say, oh, here we go again. But it's true. Football is about that. Football is about Adidas, Paul Pogba selling shirts and everything. You know, marketability. Especially when Lingard's probably going to have to go. Lingard was a big, pull in relation to all that. So they don't want to lose Pogba anyway. So, there is a very, very real likelihood that Paul Pogba could stay. What does that mean for Solskjaer and Manchester United from a footballing sense? Because that's the most important thing. And I do want people to get their comments in below, because I know for a fact people will be going, oh, for God's sake, I just want him gone. Just a bit like some people don't think Ollie's good enough, or some people think he is good enough. Pogba does divide. Some people will be like, yeah, this is great news, ultimately he's a good player. And some people will be, I just want rid of him. Now, look, the facts are, Raiola is a disruptive agent for a football club. He's a brilliant agent if he's your agent, but he's not great if he's got players at your club. And if Pogba did sign a 3-year contract, what if suddenly Real Madrid do have the money next summer? Are we going to have to go through another season? And that's my concern with Pogba. Although he might sign a new contract, do you really think he's just going to sit there for 3 years? I don't. I think it's about him and his agent sitting down and going, we can't get you the move this summer, Paul. What do we do? Sign a new contract. I get a bit of the slice of the pie. You get more money. Happy days, and then in a year we'll disrupt it again. So that's always a concern with Pogba. Or, from a positive sense, Pogba does buckle down. In a better team, he does a lot better. No doubt, Pogba makes us better. You know what I've said about Paul Pogba? I think we should have sold him last summer and rebuilt him the summer last year. And I think we should sell him this summer and let him go where he wants to go, if we can get the money we want and rebuild. But in the interim of him being back now, I would let him play, because I think that he is a very, very good player. And I like Paul Pogba, the footballer. What I don't like is the baggage of Pogba. And I don't know how much of it is his fault. I think you've got to say some of it is, because Raiola is his mouthpiece and Raiola opens his mouth a lot. But also, there is a media agenda against Paul Pogba. We see it on the mainstream media all the time. Pogba gets a lot more criticism than the British players does. And that's, you don't care what anybody says, that's true. Martial does as well. So there is a level of unfairness. What concerns me the most are the rumours around the dressing room, that Paul Pogba, when he's in the dressing room, everything's about him. He's the focal point, right? That's fine if he is the performer. But this team has done fantastically well this season. Well, it hasn't, but it has, if you know what I mean. It's done fantastically bad, but it's worked through adversity. You know, they've had their backs to the wall a lot this season. A lot of these players, your Harry Maguires, your Wan-Bissakas, your Scott McTominays, your Anthony Martials, your Marcus Rashfords, your Freds, they've been in real trouble this season as a team. So close that the manager's nearly been sacked and another upheaval. They've come through the other side. They fought side by side together, those players there, and Luke Shaw's, and Brandon Williams, and a few others I've not mentioned. They fought together, and I just can't imagine how together they are and tight-knit they are at the moment, with Bruno Fernandes as well. There's a real togetherness. I think that Man City game was the first time I really looked at that team, and the Scott McTominay goal typified it with the celebration, where I looked at them and I went, wow, there's some real togetherness there. They actually have a spine now. To drop Paul Pogba into there, what if all those players go, Paul's back now, and Pogba's like, I'm the man again? And does that create resentment? Does it make us even stronger? I hope if it makes us stronger, it's win-win-win. But if it makes us beholden to Pogba again, and we're in the shadow of Paul Pogba, then that could cause a problem. But I can't contradict what I've said. When Pogba's fit, you need him involved because it makes us stronger. Is a long-term future with Pogba at United a good thing or a bad thing? I don't know. I hope it's a good thing, but I don't know. And I know a lot of you think it's a bad thing, and I know a lot of you think it's a good thing. All I can say is, as a footballer, I think Paul Pogba can be the best midfielder in the world. And I think with someone like Bruno Fernandes, he'll be a better player than he was last season and the season before. My issue is the baggage of Paul Pogba, his agent. Does he really want to be here, or is it just because he can't get a move in the summer? And in that case, you've potentially still got a negativity in the club that you don't want. But I think we will sign him on a new contract if he wants to stay. So watch this space and get your comments in below about that. We have got Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's press conference reaction coming up later. Flex, my life, my God, I was panicking last night. He's flying from Frankfurt to Austria. They turn around and come back because the engine's on fire. I would have just passed out on the plane. Fair play, he was playing Mario Kart and he's fine. So we are going over there. I don't think we'll get into the game. We've gone over there just to cover it, vlogs, whatever. We've had people saying you shouldn't be doing it. It's irresponsible. But at the end of the day, that's a decision that we make, isn't it? Many journalists have gone over there, and we're a fan channel, and we want to be out there. So we will have some content coming up for you with that. We'll have Ollie's reaction as well. The bigger picture of football is that Arsenal versus Manchester City has been cancelled tonight because of coronavirus precautionary, because Arsenal played Olympiacos 2 weeks ago and got knocked out of the Europa League, and their owner has the virus. So, but this is my point. this is my point. People are saying at some point and very soon we're going to be playing behind closed doors games, right? Which I think is inevitable. The cases keep going up in the UK. We're about 2 weeks off Italy, and Italy have now cancelled all games for a month. So I think we're getting closer and closer to that. Even when it goes behind closed doors, like, footballers don't live in a box. I'm a man in a box. I'm a man in a box. I can't do that. I wish I could. Rob Brydon's brilliant at it. But that, you know, footballers go home. They've got children. They've got friends. One footballer in the Premier League gets coronavirus. That team is in isolation. They can't play their games. And then any team that they've played are in isolation. We're not going to get to behind closed doors games, people. We're going to get to a situation where football is going to be cancelled. Now, I put this on the United Stand today. This is the most common sense approach I can feel. We are going into an unprecedented situation here. The facts are people are dying from this. You've got to take it at a very real level. Like, I've got family members over 70. I've got people I know with underlying health conditions. But even if you don't, think about people like Sir Bobby Robson in their 80s. Think about people like Sir Alex Ferguson over 70. I'm not saying they're going to get coronavirus or anything like that, but I'm trying to give you the real human effect here. These are the people that are potentially at risk from this illness. So we've got to do what we can to protect those people, those family members, those friends, those icons of our club, however you want to relate it to you. So we've got to do something. We're trying to stunt the growth of it. So I accept, as disappointing as it is, that football needs to be shut down in relation to large gatherings. What I would do is this. This could take a year to get over this virus, find a cure for it. So we can't close everything for a year. You can't close schools and everything for a year. It's ridiculous. You'll have a massive rate of depression and mental health issues because you can't do that. We've got to manage it. We've got to try and bump the curve because at the moment it's going like that. We need to spread it out for the problems it will cause on our NHS. What I think we should do, very logical, because no one wants the football to stop. But you can stop it in a way. Like, I'm going to do FIFA stuff on That's Football and maybe on here and Football Manager. So we'll keep you entertained. We'll still be doing the shows as long as we're healthy, of course. So subscribe. But what I would do is this. Cancel football for 6 weeks. Takes you to the middle of April. Then restart it. And let the season run till the end of June. Cancel the Euros till next summer. Everyone was going to be playing in the Euros till the end of June, early July anyway. So everyone's going to get 6 weeks off. So it's another mini break for everybody. Start the season mid-April, run it through till the end of June. Again, a little bit of a break. Then we don't do tours because no one's going to go on tour. And then sort of mid-July, people start training again for next season. And that's what you do. So 6 weeks off, restart the season, let it go again till June. We have 6 weeks off. And in that 6 weeks, put the Euros back for another year. And in the 6 weeks off, just open the transfer window early. People are like, well, people can't travel. They've never heard of Skype, you boomer. Oh, what about medicals? Deals pending a medical. Just open the transfer window early so that people get their football fix every day. Put the season back till the end of June. Start it again end of April. And I think that's the way to do it. But the Premier League won't think of it like a common sense approach like that. They'll just shut it all down and go, we don't know what to do. Rock, paper, scissors. Just do that. Knock the Euros back. The Euros can't go on anyway because there's too much travel around. And put the season back till the end of June. That's what I think should happen with that. Anyway, also a little bit of a reminder. A lot of you are snapping these up. The new Bruno, well, we've got lots of stuff, but we've got the new Bruno range out. Links in the video description for this. Lots of people are ordering the Bruno t-shirt. You can get the jumper I'm wearing there. Look, the United one if you want to get that. In fact, there it is. Worldwide delivery of all this. I had that one on last night. The Adored t-shirts and jumpers as well. Lots and lots of designs, but a brand new design. The Bruno one, and I'll show you the little design on it as well. As you can see, Portuguese Magnifico with the little trident and the BF18 on there. Available in 6 different colours. My favourite one being the red one there, as you can see. Links in the video description. We do deliver worldwide with those, so crack on and get one of those for yourself. Really, really nice. Mine are in the post, actually. As soon as I've got them, I'll be able to wear them on the show. Thanks, everyone, for watching. Smash a like on the video. Give us your thoughts on Pogba and how we solve this problem with football. I think we all need to accept that it is going to end. And how do we deal with that? It can't shut down forever. You can't suspend a season. Let's take a common sense approach. Let's knock it back for a month or 6 weeks. Let's open the transfer window early so that things can be done. And let's take it from there. But we will be live later on with a reaction to Ollie's press conference. I'm sure he'll be talking about it as well. He'll probably have an update on Pogba. Have a good day. Smash a like on the video. And if you want to get your Bruno t-shirt, links in the video description.